For many sisters, Ramadan is not only a month of worship, it becomes a month of responsibility. You wake before everyone for suhoor, sleep last after the kitchen is clean, prepare iftar for the entire home, manage children, and still try to pray with presence. By the time you sit for Qur'an, your body is exhausted and your mind is distracted. Then guilt begins. You feel as if everyone else is increasing in worship while you are only managing chores. But Islam never intended for worship to become emotional pressure. Allah does not measure your Ramadan by how much you cook or how little you rest. Today, we will understand how a woman in a joint family can organize her day so her home responsibilities do not quietly take her away from her connection with Allah. Your Imaan comes before expectations. In a joint family, Ramadan often arrives with unspoken expectations. You feel responsible for meals, organization, and comfort for everyone in the home. Before the day begins, your mind is already planning what must be prepared and completed. Slowly, these duties begin to define your Ramadan. You intend to worship, but your energy is spent serving others first. Islam honors service, yet it never placed people's expectations above your relationship with Allah. Your salah, your dhikr, and your quiet moments with Qur'an are not optional luxuries. They are your personal connection with your Creator, and they deserve protection. Many sisters begin believing that fulfilling every household need is their primary role in Ramadan. When someone asks for something, you respond immediately, even if it interrupts your prayer. You postpone your worship repeatedly because you feel guilty making others wait. Over time, your connection with Allah becomes delayed until you are too tired to focus. This pattern does not come from sincerity, it comes from misplaced priority. Allah did not command you to abandon remembrance in order to maintain constant availability. Sometimes the pressure is not spoken but felt. You see the kitchen busy and assume you must carry it. You see others resting and feel you cannot. You worry you will be seen as careless if you pause for yourself. Yet, worship is not selfishness. Islam teaches that your obligation to Allah exists regardless of the environment around you. When you stand in prayer, you are fulfilling a command no one else can fulfill on your behalf. You may try to pray quickly so you can return to tasks faster. The body bows and rises, but the heart remains distracted. Instead of peace, you feel rushed. The problem is not lack of sincerity, but lack of space. Worship requires presence. When expectations consume every moment, presence disappears. Giving yourself permission to pray calmly restores tranquility. Often you fear disappointing others. You think if you step away from work, someone may feel neglected. Yet kindness does not require erasing your devotion. When you gently say, "You will complete prayer first," you are not rejecting people, you are honoring Allah. Most families adjust when they understand your intention clearly. Your Iman weakens not because you serve your family, but because you forget to serve your soul. The heart needs remembrance just as the body needs food. Without it, exhaustion grows deeper than physical fatigue. You begin feeling spiritually distant even while doing good deeds. Balance returns when you nourish your inner life regularly. There are moments when you feel resentful without wanting to. You continue helping, but your heart feels heavy. This happens when your spiritual needs remain unmet. Worship restores sincerity to your service. After prayer, your patience increases and your kindness becomes genuine again. You might believe that managing the household itself replaces worship. While intention can bring reward, it does not replace obligatory devotion. Salah is a direct meeting with Allah, nothing substitutes for it. Protecting it strengthens your entire day. Explaining your routine calmly can change your environment. When you tell family members your prayer time and Quran time, they begin to understand your needs. Clarity prevents misunderstanding. Respect often grows once you communicate gently. Gradually, you learn that small boundaries create large peace. Even 10 uninterrupted minutes of dhikr or recitation changes your heart. You return to your responsibilities calmer and more patient. Worship does not take away from service, it improves it. Your children also learn from your example. When they see you pause for prayer, they understand faith has priority. You teach them that devotion is part of daily life, not something delayed until convenient. You stop measuring your worth by how much you complete for others. Instead, you measure it by sincerity before Allah. This shift removes hidden pressure. You still serve with care, but not at the cost of your spiritual stability. With time, your day feels lighter, responsibilities remain, but your heart stays connected. The same tasks no longer feel overwhelming because you are spiritually supported. You realize expectations will always exist. What matters is how you organize your response. When you center your routine around worship first, everything else arranges itself more calmly. In the end, your Imaan must come before expectations. People benefit from your service, but your soul benefits from your devotion. When you protect your connection with Allah, your patience grows, your character softens, and your Ramadan becomes meaningful instead of exhausting. A simple kitchen is a sunnah mindset. Ramadan often transforms the kitchen into the center of the home. Before noon arrives, you are already planning multiple dishes, worrying about ingredients, and thinking about presentation. You want everyone satisfied and comfortable. Slowly, hours disappear into preparation. By the time iftar approaches, your body is tired and your mind is restless. Then you sit for prayer and realize your energy is gone. Islam never intended the kitchen to replace the masjid of the heart. Food is necessary, but it was never meant to dominate your Ramadan. A simple kitchen is not neglect, it is protection for your worship. The Prophet ﷺ lived Ramadan with simplicity. His iftar was often light and humble. The barakah of the month was not in the variety of food, but in remembrance of Allah. Today, many homes unintentionally reverse that focus. The table becomes elaborate while the heart becomes exhausted. When preparation expands, reflection decreases. Following the sunnah means restoring balance, not increasing complexity. You may feel responsible for creating happiness through food. You believe a large meal shows care and generosity. While feeding others is rewarding, it should not cost your spiritual strength. When the entire day is spent cooking, your night worship becomes weak. A believer serves with love, but protects her devotion carefully. Many sisters cook more in Ramadan than any other month. You wake early, prepare suhoor, manage the day, and then spend the afternoon in the kitchen. By Maghrib, your body feels drained. Instead of anticipating prayer, you anticipate rest. This exhaustion quietly distances you from the purpose of fasting. Simplicity restores focus. A simple meal can still be nourishing and comforting. Dates, water, and one balanced dish can fulfill the need of iftar. When you reduce unnecessary items, you gain time. That time becomes Qur'an recitation, dua, or peaceful reflection. The reward of these moments is greater than the praise for an elaborate table. You may worry that family members will feel disappointed, yet often they adapt quickly. When you explain your intention, they understand. They benefit from your calm presence more than from extra dishes. Your peace becomes part of the home's atmosphere. Simplifying the kitchen also reduces stress. Instead of rushing, you move calmly. You finish preparation earlier and prepare yourself for prayer. The moments before Maghrib become spiritually meaningful rather than frantic. Children learn from what they see. When they observe moderation, they understand Ramadan is about worship, not only food. You teach them that fasting is spiritual discipline, not culinary display. This lesson stays with them longer than any recipe. Preparing less also improves gratitude. With simpler meals, appreciation increases. Excess often hides thankfulness. Simplicity reveals it. The heart becomes more aware of blessings. You may discover more energy for Taraweeh. Without long hours of cooking, your body feels lighter. Standing in prayer becomes easier. Your concentration improves because your mind is not overwhelmed by fatigue. Time saved in the kitchen becomes time with Allah. Even a short, quiet period after iftar can transform your night. These moments nourish your heart more than any meal nourishes your body. You also experience emotional relief. Instead of pressure, you feel calm. You begin to anticipate worship again. Ramadan regains its original meaning. The Sunnah teaches moderation in all things. Eating simply aligns your actions with prophetic guidance. Your routine becomes closer to His example. Gradually, your family benefits from your balance. Your patience improves, and your kindness feels sincere. When your heart is peaceful, your service becomes gentler. In the end, a simple kitchen is a Sunnah mindset. It places remembrance above display and devotion above expectation. When you choose simplicity, you protect your Imaan and allow Ramadan to return to its true purpose. Set gentle boundaries early. In a joint family, many pressures do not come from intention, but from assumption. People simply believe you are always available because you have always responded quickly. You answer every call, handle every task, and adjust your time constantly. Over time, this becomes the normal expectation. When Ramadan begins, the same pattern continues, and your worship quietly moves to the background. Gentle boundaries are not rejection of family, they are protection of your responsibility to Allah. If you do not clarify your limits early, your entire month will be filled with interruptions rather than devotion. You may hesitate to speak because you fear appearing rude. You worry others will misunderstand your intentions, yet silence often creates greater tension than respectful communication. When you calmly explain your prayer time, people understand your priorities. A believer does not need harshness to be clear. Simple words, spoken kindly, establish respect without conflict. One of the most important boundaries is protecting your salah. When prayer time enters, you step away and complete it with presence. If you delay repeatedly for small tasks, prayer becomes rushed and distracted. The family will adjust once they recognize that this time is consistent. Consistency teaches more effectively than long explanations. You can also set limits around Qur'an time. Choose a short period daily when you are not interrupted. Inform others beforehand so expectations adjust. This prevents resentment because people know your routine in advance. Clarity reduces pressure for everyone. Many sisters wait until exhaustion to express their needs. By then, frustration has already grown. Early communication prevents emotional buildup. You speak gently before the month becomes overwhelming. This protects your patience later. Boundaries do not mean you stop serving your family. They mean you serve with balance. You still cook, help, and care, but not at the expense of your spiritual connection. When your heart is nourished, your service becomes sincere instead of forced. Sometimes others may be surprised at first. They are used to your constant availability. Their reaction does not mean you are wrong. Change simply requires adjustment. Calm consistency reassures them over time. You may also learn to say after prayer instead of immediately. This small phrase changes your routine. It prioritizes worship without disrespect. Gradually, the household adapts to your schedule naturally. Gentle boundaries also include rest. When you communicate your need for short rest, you preserve your energy. Without rest, patience decreases and misunderstandings increase. Rest supports your character. Children benefit from this example. They see that worship has importance. They learn that prayer is not secondary to chores. Your behavior teaches them faith practically. You may discover that others are willing to help once they understand your routine. Sometimes they assumed you preferred handling everything. Communication opens cooperation. Your heart feels calmer when expectations become realistic. You no longer rush constantly. Worship regains tranquility. Peace replaces quiet resentment. Respect grows when you respect your own responsibilities. When you value your worship, others begin to value it too. Boundaries invite understanding rather than distance. You also protect relationships. Without boundaries, exhaustion leads to irritation. With boundaries, you remain patient and kind. Balance strengthens family harmony. In the end, setting gentle boundaries early protects both your Imaan and your relationships. You are not choosing between Allah and your family. You are organizing your life so both receive their rightful place. When you speak with kindness and act with consistency, your home adjusts and your heart remains connected to Allah throughout Ramadan. Share responsibility without guilt. Many women in joint families quietly carry every responsibility themselves. You prepare meals, organize the home, care for children, and respond to every need without pause. At first it feels manageable, but as Ramadan continues, your energy fades. Still, you hesitate to ask for help. You feel that sharing tasks means you are failing your role. Islam, however, never required you to exhaust yourself to serve others. Responsibility within a family was always meant to be shared. When you carry everything alone, you do not increase reward. You increase fatigue and weaken your focus in worship. You may believe that asking for help burdens others, yet families function through cooperation. Children learn responsibility by participating, and adults strengthen bonds through assistance. When you gently invite others to contribute, you are not abandoning care. You are teaching mutual support. A believer does not measure sincerity by silent suffering, but by wise balance. Guilt often appears the moment you consider delegating. You think you should be able to manage everything because you always have before, but past habits do not define healthy routines. Ramadan is a month of worship, not a month of proving endurance. Sharing tasks protects your spiritual presence. You might start with small steps. Asking a child to set the table or a family member to prepare a simple item can ease your workload. These small actions free time for prayer and reflection. Gradual change feels natural and prevents resistance. Sometimes you fear others will judge you. You imagine they will think you are less caring, yet kindness is not measured by how tired you become. When your energy is preserved, your service becomes calmer and your words gentler. Your family benefits from your peace more than your constant activity. You may also realize that people often help willingly once asked. Many do not notice your exhaustion because you hide it. Communication opens awareness. When others understand your needs, they respond with understanding. Sharing responsibility also teaches children empathy. They learn that Ramadan involves cooperation and consideration. Helping becomes part of their character and strengthens family connection. Your own heart becomes lighter. Instead of rushing from task to task, you move with intention. You complete duties without feeling overwhelmed. This calm allows you to approach worship with presence. You may discover more patience during the day. Without excessive workload, irritation decreases. You respond gently even during hunger and fatigue. Balanced effort supports good character. Delegating tasks does not remove reward. Your intention remains service and care. Allowing others to help actually preserves your sincerity. You serve willingly instead of resentfully. Your schedule becomes manageable. You find moments to sit quietly, make dua, or read Qur'an without constant interruption. These moments restore your spiritual strength. You begin to see that strength is not doing everything yourself. Strength is organizing life wisely, so your obligations to Allah remain steady. Wisdom replaces silent pressure. Your relationships improve as well. Cooperation brings appreciation. When others participate, they recognize your effort and value your contribution more clearly. Gradually, guilt fades. You understand that caring for your worship is part of caring for your family. A spiritually nourished heart offers kinder service than an exhausted one. In the end, sharing responsibility without guilt protects your Imaan and your well-being. Allah did not ask you to carry every burden alone. He created families to support one another. When you accept help and maintain balance, your Ramadan becomes peaceful and your worship regains its calm sincerity. Protect one non-negotiable worship time. In a busy household, the day fills quickly before you even notice. From the moment you wake, tasks begin one after another. You intend to sit with the Qur'an later, to make dhikr when things calm down, to pray with reflection after finishing responsibilities, yet the day rarely becomes quiet. By night you feel exhausted and your worship becomes brief. This is why a believer chooses one non-negotiable time for Allah. You decide that no matter how full the day becomes, this moment remains protected. It is not about length, it is about consistency and intention. When you fix a daily worship time, your heart gains stability. Instead of hoping for free moments, you create them. Even 10 or 15 uninterrupted minutes can nourish your Imaan. During that period, you put aside tasks and give full attention to remembrance. You will notice how different this feels from rushed worship. Presence replaces distraction. Many sisters wait for perfect conditions to worship: a quiet home, finished chores, and complete calm. In a joint family, that moment rarely comes. Protecting a specific time means you worship within real life, not ideal life. Allah knows your environment and rewards your effort to prioritize Him within it. You may choose after Fajr, when the home is still quiet. The early hours often carry peace. A short recitation then sets the tone for your day. Your responsibilities remain, but your heart feels grounded before facing them. Others may find late evenings suitable. When the home settles and activity slows, you dedicate a small period to reflection and dua. The timing matters less than the consistency. Repetition builds spiritual strength. At first, interruptions may happen. Someone calls you or a task appears urgent. Gently return to your routine. Over time, your family learns this time belongs to your worship. Consistency teaches respect more than explanation. This protected moment becomes emotional refuge. When the day feels heavy, you remember that your meeting with Allah is waiting. Hope replaces overwhelm. Even difficult tasks feel lighter. You may worry that duties remain unfinished while you pause. Yet those few minutes do not harm your responsibilities. Instead, they improve your patience and efficiency afterward. Worship strengthens your service. During this time, choose simple acts. Recite slowly, reflect on a verse, or sit quietly making dhikr. Depth matters more than quantity. A small, sincere practice grows steadily. Your children notice your routine. They see you prioritize prayer calmly. This teaches them that faith has a place in daily life, not only in free time. Protecting this moment also protects your emotions. Without it, stress accumulates. With it, you release worry through dua. You feel heard and supported. Some days you may feel tired. Even then, sit briefly. The goal is continuity, not perfection. Showing up daily matters more than intensity. Gradually, your concentration improves. Your mind becomes calmer during prayer because you are no longer rushing between tasks. You experience true presence. You begin anticipating this time with comfort. Instead of pressure, you feel relief. Worship becomes something you look forward to rather than postpone. You may notice your reactions change. Challenges that once upset you now feel manageable. Your patience increases because your heart feels connected. This small habit anchors your Ramadan. Even if the day becomes chaotic, your spiritual center remains steady. Consistency also removes guilt. You know you maintained your connection despite responsibilities. Peace replaces self-blame. Your family benefits from your calmness. When you are spiritually settled, your kindness becomes easier and more genuine. Over weeks, this moment becomes essential to your routine. You no longer see it as extra effort, but as necessary nourishment. You understand that protecting time for Allah is not separating from life. It is strengthening your ability to live well within it. In the end, one non-negotiable worship time preserves your Imaan in a busy home. It reminds you daily that your relationship with Allah is personal and constant. Through this simple commitment, your Ramadan becomes steady, peaceful, and spiritually meaningful. As you continue protecting this time, you begin to notice something subtle. Your day no longer starts with pressure. Instead, it starts with direction. When the first words you recite belong to Allah, your thoughts organize differently. Tasks still exist, but they no longer feel chaotic. Worship gives the heart orientation. Without it, the day pulls you in many directions. With it, you move through responsibilities calmly. You are not removing duties from your life. You are placing your connection with Allah before them so they do not control your emotions. There will be mornings when you feel heavy and unmotivated. You may consider skipping your routine just once, yet those are the days your heart needs it most. Even sitting quietly and making simple dhikr keeps the connection alive. Consistency teaches the soul reliability. You learn that worship is not dependent on mood. It becomes a stable meeting rather than a fluctuating effort. You will also notice that your worries begin appearing during this time. While you sit, concerns about family, finances, and relationships come to mind. Instead of pushing them away, you turn them into dua. This transforms anxiety into reliance. The same thoughts that once drained you now bring relief because they are placed in Allah's care. Sometimes the house becomes noisy. Children wake, conversations begin, and interruptions happen. Rather than abandoning your routine, you shorten it but keep it. Even a few minutes maintain continuity. The habit matters more than the duration. Your heart learns that worship continues despite circumstances. Over time, you feel a protective calm. Situations that previously caused stress now feel manageable. The difference is not fewer problems, but greater stability. Regular remembrance trains the heart to respond instead of react. You begin answering challenges with patience rather than urgency. You may also see improvement in your concentration outside prayer. Your mind becomes clearer while cooking, organizing, and helping others. Worship strengthens attention. The same calm you feel during recitation follows you into daily tasks. Spiritual presence extends into practical life. At times, you may feel emotional relief during these moments. Tears appear without planning. This is not weakness, it is release. Your heart finally pauses long enough to express what it carried silently. Such moments soften your character and deepen sincerity. Your relationship with the Qur'an changes as well. Instead of reading quickly to complete pages, you begin reading to understand. Even one verse can stay with you all day. Reflection replaces hurry. The meaning influences your behavior naturally. You may discover that this time becomes your decision-making space. When confused, you sit and reflect before acting. You feel guided rather than pressured. Worship clarifies priorities and reduces impulsive reactions. Gradually, you depend less on constant reassurance from others. The heart that meets Allah regularly feels secure. You still appreciate people, but your emotional stability no longer depends on them. Your inner peace becomes anchored. You also begin forgiving more easily. Resentments that once lingered soften after sincere dua. When you ask Allah for mercy, you find yourself showing mercy. Worship reshapes character gently. There may be evenings when you feel you accomplished very little outwardly, yet your protected worship time remains complete. This gives you contentment. Productivity no longer defines your worth, presence does. Your children may begin sitting near you during this period. They see your calmness and feel its comfort. Without lectures, you teach them that remembrance brings peace. Your practice becomes their lesson. You also notice gratitude increasing. Small blessings become visible. A quiet moment, a shared smile, a simple meal feel meaningful. Regular remembrance awakens appreciation. Your sleep improves because your mind empties worries during duha. Instead of carrying concerns to bed, you entrust them to Allah. This trust creates rest. You become less hurried. You move steadily rather than rushing constantly. Even your speech becomes gentler. Worship influences behavior without force. On difficult days, this time becomes your refuge. When overwhelmed, you know where to return. The world feels heavy, but your connection feels stable. You learn that spiritual strength grows slowly, not through intense bursts, but through daily commitment. A few minutes consistently change your inner state over weeks. You may miss a day occasionally due to unavoidable circumstances. Instead of abandoning the routine, you return the next day. Continuity matters more than perfection. The believer persists gently. Eventually, you realize this small, protected time shaped your entire Ramadan. It did not remove responsibilities, yet it transformed how you carried them. Your Imaan remained alive because you guarded one sincere meeting with Allah each day, and through that meeting, every part of life became calmer and more meaningful. Rest is not wasted time. Many women feel uncomfortable when they sit down in Ramadan without doing something. If you are not cooking, cleaning, helping, or praying, you feel as though you are losing reward. You watch the clock and your heart fills with guilt. Yet Islam never defined worship as constant movement. Allah created your body with limits, and those limits are not mistakes. When you rest, you are not stepping away from devotion. You are allowing your strength to return so your worship can be present rather than mechanical. Exhaustion quietly changes the quality of your prayer. You stand in salah, but your thoughts scatter. You recite, but you cannot remember what you just read. This is not a spiritual problem, it is fatigue. When the mind is tired, attention weakens. A short rest can restore clarity more than forcing longer effort. Rest supports khushu, and khushu is the heart of worship. You may believe strong faith means pushing through tiredness, yet the Prophet ﷺ lived with balance. He prayed deeply, but he also slept. He did not exhaust himself continuously. His practice teaches that maintaining strength allows devotion to remain steady. Resting with the intention to worship better aligns with this balance. Sometimes you resist resting because others remain busy. You feel you must match their activity, but Allah does not compare your capacity to theirs. Your body, responsibilities, and energy differ. Reward comes from sincerity within your limits, not imitation of another person's routine. Rest also protects your patience. When you are tired, small matters irritate you. You respond quickly and later regret your tone. A rested heart responds gently. Good character is part of worship. By resting, you preserve your manners as well as your prayer. You may notice headaches or dizziness during fasting. Often these are worsened by lack of rest. The body is already conserving energy while fasting. Without recovery, discomfort increases. Caring for your health helps you fast with steadiness rather than strain. Many sisters delay rest thinking they will nap later. The day becomes busy and the opportunity disappears. By evening you are exhausted and Taraweeh feels heavy. Even a brief midday pause can renew your energy and improve your night worship. Rest is not only sleep. Quiet sitting without tasks also restores the mind. A few moments of calm breathing, gentle dhikr, or silent reflection reduce mental fatigue. The heart relaxes and focus returns. You may feel that resting wastes precious Ramadan hours, yet forcing tired worship often leads to rushed recitation and distraction. A rested recitation carries understanding. Quality replaces quantity. Your family benefits when you are rested. You speak kindly and move calmly. Without rest, frustration appears. Balance improves relationships as well as devotion. Resting also teaches humility. You accept that you are human and dependent on Allah. You recognize your strength is limited and your need for His support is constant. You might begin planning your day around natural energy cycles. Short rest before or after door can restore clarity. Organized rest becomes part of your routine rather than accidental. When you wake refreshed, your dua becomes more heartfelt. You concentrate better and your connection deepens. Rest prepares the heart for sincerity. Even emotional fatigue lessens. Constant activity keeps the mind tense. Rest softens anxiety and brings calm awareness. Your remembrance becomes peaceful. You may discover gratitude during rest. You notice small blessings you previously overlooked. Quiet moments allow reflection that busy hours hide. Rest can also prevent resentment. When you push yourself beyond capacity, you begin feeling unappreciated. Balanced effort keeps your service willing and sincere. Your night worship becomes lighter. Instead of forcing yourself through Taraweeh, you stand with calm strength. The difference is noticeable in your focus. You realize that caring for your body is part of honoring the trust Allah gave you. Neglecting it weakens your ability to serve Him. Over time, you stop measuring productivity by constant activity. You measure it by presence and sincerity. Rest supports both. In the end, rest is not wasted time. It is preparation. When you rest with intention, your body regains strength and your heart regains focus. Through balance, your Ramadan becomes gentle and meaningful, and your worship reflects peace rather than pressure. Sometimes the greatest relief comes when you finally allow yourself to pause without apology. You sit quietly, and instead of immediately thinking about the next responsibility, you simply breathe. In that stillness, you notice how tense your body had become. Ramadan is meant to soften the heart, not tighten the shoulders with constant strain. When you accept rest as part of your routine, your mind begins to settle. A settled mind remembers Allah more easily than an exhausted one that can only endure. You may discover that rest actually increases your motivation. After even a short break, you return to your tasks with clarity. What once took an hour now takes half the time. Fatigue slows efficiency, while recovery restores it. The believer learns that strength is preserved, not forced. When you respect your energy, you serve your family and your faith with steadiness. There are moments you feel emotional but cannot explain why. This often comes from accumulated exhaustion. Your body and heart both need space to release pressure. Rest allows your thoughts to organize and your emotions to calm. Instead of reacting quickly, you respond thoughtfully. Your worship becomes gentler because your heart is no longer overwhelmed. You might notice your dua changes after rest. When you are tired, you rush your supplication. When you are calm, your words slow and your sincerity deepens. You speak to Allah with presence. This connection is not produced by pushing harder, but by pausing wisely. Rest also protects your relationships. A tired person misunderstands easily and speaks sharply. A rested person listens carefully and answers kindly. Maintaining peace in your home is part of living your faith. By caring for your strength, you protect harmony around you. Some sisters feel they must always be seen doing something. They fear judgment if they pause. Yet your intention is known to Allah, even when unseen by people. Resting quietly for His sake holds value even if others do not notice. Your worth is not measured by constant activity. You may begin planning small, quiet intervals during the day. These pauses create rhythm in your routine. Instead of one long collapse at night, you experience steady energy. Balance replaces exhaustion. During these moments, reflection becomes easier. You think about verses you read or blessings you experienced. Reflection turns routine actions into meaningful worship. Without rest, reflection rarely occurs. You might find that your patience with children increases. When you are calm, you guide gently. When you are exhausted, correction becomes frustration. Rest supports compassionate parenting. Even your physical posture changes. Your breathing slows and tension decreases. The body relaxes and your mind follows. This calm prepares you for prayer. You may feel hesitant the first few days. Rest feels unfamiliar because you are used to constant motion. Gradually, you accept it as part of caring for your amana. The discomfort fades and peace appears. Your sleep at night also improves. Short daytime recovery prevents extreme fatigue. You wake more refreshed, and your morning worship becomes clearer. You notice gratitude returning. When you are rested, you appreciate small acts and blessings. Exhaustion hides appreciation, calm reveals it. Rest also teaches reliance on Allah. You acknowledge that you cannot control everything continuously. You pause and trust that affairs continue under His care. You may even find creativity in your routines. With a clearer mind, you organize tasks efficiently and reduce unnecessary effort. Your day feels lighter. Moments of quiet dhikr during rest deepen your remembrance. Instead of hurried repetition, your words carry meaning. Your heart feels connected rather than obligated. You realize that service becomes more sincere after recovery. You help willingly instead of mechanically. Intention returns to your actions. Gradually, the guilt you once felt disappears. You understand that rest supports devotion rather than competing with it. Your perspective changes from pressure to wisdom. Your Ramadan becomes calmer. You still work and serve, but you also breathe, reflect, and worship with awareness. The balance feels sustainable. In the end, continuing this practice teaches that rest is a companion to worship. It allows your heart to remain soft and your faith steady. Through thoughtful pauses, your connection with Allah strengthens and your days carry peace instead of constant strain. Allah sees what no one else sees: the quiet effort, the unseen service, the hidden patience. Your Ramadan is not less valuable because it is lived inside responsibilities. You are not missing Ramadan, you are living it differently. When you protect even a small, sincere connection with Allah, your worship remains alive. Reduce pressure, simplify your day, and remove the guilt that burdens your heart. What Allah wants from you is presence, not exhaustion. And when your intention is sincere, even ordinary acts inside your home can become acts of worship. Trust Allah, the one who gave you these responsibilities, also knows your limits and rewards your effort.